Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive from Unplugged Headlines.
It's great to be here. We've got some really interesting ground to cover today.
We certainly do. This is episode 28, and we're focusing on a specific blog post, how partners use the Ahrvo network to launch, grow, and monetize financial services.
That's right. And really, our goal today is to unpack how businesses can leverage a unified financial infrastructure based on what's in this post to, well, build profitable services.
And it's incredibly timely, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
you look at the forecasts, the global reg tech market potentially hitting over, what, $66 billion by 2032?
exactly. And embedded finance, two projected revenues nearing $534 billion by 2029. That's a massive opportunity landscape opening up.
It really is. So the Ahrvo network seems positioned right in the middle of this, offering infrastructure for compliance, payments, banking.
hmm Across loads of countries and
Huh.
different financial service types. And the blog post really digs into how different partnership models can tap into that infrastructure and, generate revenue. Things like KYC, AML, those essential compliance bits.
Okay, so first things first. The blog post emphasizes why this unified infrastructure is so critical now.
Yeah.
What are the main drivers behind that?
Well, a huge one is just the sheer complexity of regulations globally. You've got GDPR, PSD2, the U.S. Bank Secrecy Act, plus all sorts of local rules.
Right, it sounds like a minefield for any company operating internationally.
It really can be. And trying to manage all that with different vendors, different systems, it's just incredibly inefficient, like constantly patching things together.
And I guess customers aren't exactly patient these days either.
Not at all. Everyone expects super fast account opening, instant payments, easy cross-border stuff. Think SEPA Instant, FedNow, RTP. They've raised the bar.
Slow processes mean people just drop off, right? They go elsewhere.
Precisely. It leads to frustration and lost business. So speed is critical.
The post also mentions API-driven ecosystems adding complexity. How so?
Well, lots of firms are using things like open banking APIs, maybe DeFi elements, payment SDKs, trying to embed these cool financial features.
Okay.
But integrating all these different APIs, which are like the messengers between software, can be a real headache. Different formats, different security, you need specialist developers. It gets complex fast.
Right, so this is where the blog post introduces the Ahrvo network as the solution.
Yeah.
How does it cut through that complexity?
Their core idea is a unified API layer. So instead of connecting to dozens of providers individually, you connect once to Ahrvo.
Ah, okay, one integration point.
Exactly. And they've pre-negotiated terms with, I think the post says, over 800 providers, plus their portable identity gateway helps reduce redundant onboarding checks.
So streamlining access and cutting down on repetitive tasks. That sounds like a big deal. Now, the post outlines 4 partnership models. Let's walk through them. First up, referral.
Right, the referral model. This is probably the simplest. Partners basically act as introducers.
Introducers.
Yeah, they find businesses that need these kinds of financial services and connect them with Ahrvo. They use their network, submit a lead, usually via an online form Ahrvo provides.
Okay, so they make the connection.
And then Ahrvo takes over, handles the sales process, the onboarding, the implementation. The partner gets a dashboard to track things.
And the incentive.
Commission. The blog mentions 10 to 30% of the net revenue from that client for the lifetime of the account.
Lifetime. Wow. So the big advantage here is low overhead.
Definitely. Minimal upfront work for the partner, scalable revenue based on the leads, flexible engagement, and Ahrvo is motivated to make the client successful, which benefits the referrer too.
The post even gives some playbook ideas, like targeting specific startups or hosting events.
Yeah, tailoring marketing, integrating CRMs, iterating based on what works. Pretty standard, but effective stuff for referrals.
Okay, makes sense. What's the second model? Reseller. That's more involved.
It is. With the reseller model, partners actually embed Ahrvo's API into their own products or services.
So they integrate the technology.
Exactly, and they offer it under their own brand. They set the price, handle the billing, provide the first line of customer support.
Ah, so they own the customer relationship more directly.
Precisely. They get white label APIs and SDKs, maybe in JavaScript, Python, whatever they use. There's a flexible pricing engine for markups and a system for escalating support issues to Ahrvo if needed.
And the benefit for them.
Well, a branded experience, obviously. Potentially really good margins. The blog suggests typical markups of 20 to 40%.
That's significant.
And it lets them differentiate their product, like a lending platform embedding KYC, or a BaaS provider adding yield products using Ahrvo's connections. Plus, they own the whole customer relationship.
And the playbook for resellers. Things like gap analysis, bundled offerings.
Co-branded content, sales training for their teams, and keeping a close eye on performance analytics.
Got it. Now, the third model, white label. How's this different from reseller?
Good question. White label is sort of the next level up in terms of getting a ready-made platform. Partners get a fully hosted, customizable version of Ahrvo's entire platform.
The whole platform, under their own brand and domain.
Exactly. Ahrvo manages the infrastructure, the security, the regulatory updates in the background. The partner focuses on the branding, the user interface, the customer-facing bits.
So it's like getting a pre-built fintech company in a box, almost.
Kind of, yeah. They get a dedicated sauce instance, a UI kit to customize the look and feel, and those crucial automatic regulatory updates.
The big win here must be speed to market, right?
Absolutely. Much faster than building from scratch. Plus, total brand control, powered by Ahrvo mentions. You also get enterprise-level assurance like ISO 27001, PCI DSS compliance, and seamless platform upgrades.
And the playbook involves things like aligning on brand, sandbox testing, legal review.
Right. All the steps you'd expect for launching a robust platform, pilot deployment, then a full launch with marketing support.
Okay, that leaves the fourth model, program manager. Sounds geared towards larger operations.
Generally, yes. Program managers use Ahrvo's infrastructure to build and run complex, multi-tenant financial programs.
Multi-tenant, meaning serving multiple distinct groups or clients.
Correct. They control the whole end-user experience, onboarding, support, billing, even setting up revenue-sharing models between themselves and their clients or partners. They negotiate terms with the underlying banks and processors, too.
So they have a lot of control. What mechanics enable that?
Key things mentioned are hierarchical accounts for managing different user groups, a flexible revenue share engine to split fees automatically, and volume-based agreements for potentially better pricing from Ahrvo.
And why would a company choose this route? What's the major upside?
Ownership. They really own the program, setting SLAs, KYC thresholds, everything. This allows deep customization for specific markets.
And economies of scale, I imagine.
Definitely. Plus, it fosters customer stickiness because users are embedded in their branded ecosystem. And critically, they get instant access to Ahrvo's whole network FX, payments, banks, without needing separate onboarding for each one.
The playbook here mentions program design workshops, using that portable identity gateway for onboarding partners, automation.
Yeah, and setting up strong governance, audit trails, and focusing on growth enablement with marketing assets and launch support. It's quite comprehensive.
The blog backs this up with some stats too, doesn't it? About the infrastructure itself.
It does. Things like the sheer number of data sources for identity verification, verifying millions of businesses globally, automated data extraction from thousands of document types.
Real-time transaction monitoring too.
Across tons of countries, currencies, payment methods. And they mentioned significant reductions in customer drop-off rates during onboarding thanks to the efficiency. It paints a picture of a really robust backend.
It does. And finally, the post offers some strategic takeaways or best practices.
Yeah, just some good general advice.
Yeah.
Use real-time analytics, provide great developer resources like API docs and sandboxes, maybe roll out features modularly to manage risk.
And tailoring SLAs, automating compliance, co-marketing.
Exactly, all aimed at maximizing the value of the partnership and the platform.
So, bringing this all together, the core message from the blog post seems to be that the Ahrvo network provides this powerful, unified foundation.
Right, a foundation that businesses can build on in various ways, depending on their goals and resources, using these different partnership models to launch, grow, and importantly, monetize financial services.
And given those huge market growth projections we talked about for RegTech and embedded finance.
Yeah, it really underscores the opportunity right now, which I suppose leads to a good question for you, the listener.
Go on.
Well, thinking about the potential of embedded finance and this kind of unified infrastructure, what untapped customer need could you potentially address by integrating capabilities like these?
Or maybe looking at it from the other side, with regulations getting ever more complex, how could simplifying your compliance approach give you a real competitive edge? Something to definitely chew on.